Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to Party Presentation Part 2 of 4. I am so excited to be able to share this information with you. I'll wait for a few minutes. Everybody can grab their seat. And I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. I know I sure am. It's cold here in North Carolina, but we don't have any snow. I don't have snowflake earrings on today, so I'm just hoping we don't get snow. Anyway, Jan, welcome. Cam is watching. Gosh, I'm so excited. Kim, hey. Hello, you guys. Yeah, I know you probably have seen this, this top already, but this is the new top that, that we're offering at Leadership to those that are attending. So anyway, I love it. It's so comfortable. It's so cozy. It's got a front pocket, which is nice. I get to just, you know, when I'm going down into the kitchen, I just slip my phone in the pocket. Anyway, good afternoon. Fantastic job last night. Thank you. That Cam, he said hair and outfit from last night. Thank you. That's so sweet of you. I appreciate that. Hey, Julie, how are you? Julia? Oh, this will be your first leadership. Oh my gosh. Julia, it's so exciting. I have to tell you, with my last gig, which was Pampered Chef, I had attended every single convention. We called them conferences, and every single leadership. And still to this day, the leadership was always my most favorite one of the two because it's just smaller, it's more intimate. You will find out that it is truly a community because we're all in one room at the same time. Oh my gosh, it's just magical. I really want to make sure that that's a goal for you guys to make sure you are able to attend leadership. If not this one, you set it in your sights to attend next year for sure. Hey Jenny, how are you? Gosh, Jenny, I think Colorado is not as cold as other parts of the states, which is surprising. So I think you guys have a little more mild weather there. Anyway, and Kim, yes, Kim. Yes, I know, Jenny, the top is so darn cute. It's a French terry. I mean, it's just really cute. Cute, washes up. It's just fabulous, yep. Oh, Jan, great. Hey, Joy, how are you? Johnny, welcome, welcome. Oh, Jenny says mid-40s in Colorado. This morning, I think it was 19 here in, yeah, or last night, actually. I think I posted last night that it was really cold on my Facebook wall. Anyway, hey, Johnny, 1-year-old sleep in here. 1-year-old asleep. Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Jackie, welcome. Welcome, Nancy, Angie. Oh, Angie, I'm so glad you're able to make it. And Angie, I know that we talked a little bit privately through a messenger, but if you want to schedule any time on my calendar at all to talk about Kellogg parties, things that you want to do this month, make sure you schedule that time. And that reminds me, guys, when you guys need me for any reason at all, no matter what group it's in, make sure you tag me. I was scrolling down through the coffee group this morning and I saw a couple posts that somebody was asking a question about. Now, I didn't answer because I'm thinking, you know what, let me wait and see if anybody else answers. But if you need an answer right away and you're just not polling the group, then tag me because I'll see that tag and I'll answer you either in that group or private message you. And that's something else I want to just mention before we move on is that make sure your notifications are set to all in the mock Facebook group and the Coffee with Kathy group. I'm not sure I'd set them to all in the community group only because every minute, truly every minute there are postings, and I think that would drive you crazy. In the community group, and really in any group, your best friend is that search field. I mean, if you find something you need, search, and if you're not finding it, think about another word, maybe in that title that that could have been, you know, could have been posted. So again, that's what I would do whenever possible in the community group versus setting your notifications to all. But in the Calfee group and the Mock Facebook group, I think it's really important that you guys know what's just been posted, because they're all business building topics. There's no products for the most part. I mean, in the Mock Facebook group, I do post products with the product, do commercials, but they're commercials that you can pick up from that Mock Facebook group and use right away in your customer groups and in your Facebook parties, and sometimes even on your business page and your personal page. So those are kind of important things I think you need to be notified real time. Now, I also have something really exciting to tell you, since we've got most of you in the seat. Hey, Deborah and Mike, I know how to pronounce your name. I'm going to stop because I'm going to mess it up. Anyway, so the exciting thing is I talked to Heidi, and we actually talked it over with some of the leaders, and I have decided, because there is so much need for community groups, for customer groups, so much of a need. They're considered, in 2018, I just took a class, and they're considered the sweet spots of direct sellers. So what I asked Heidi, and we got a buy-in from some of the leaders, is if I could create a mock customer group where I'm going to actually be in there training you on customer groups. We're going to be having the leaders come in and post what they find is has been the most successful for them, and I'll bring in links, I'll bring in videos, maybe I'll try to get like an expert in customer groups to be a guest speaker, but it is going to be designed to help you guys learn more about and be more effective and efficient in your customer groups. So I'm going to work this weekend on it, and I've got some ideas that I've been storing up. And just like the Mock Facebook group, you are going to be requested only to ask questions in the Mock customer group about customer groups. Just like in the Mock Facebook group, we really prefer to keep that group about Facebook parties. Coffee with Kathy has nothing to do with products, it's all training. And then of course the community group is all about products and anything else just random that you want to ask. So I'll be training in it. We'll have some guest trainers come in from the leader group, and I am so excited to be able to offer this to each of you that want to join. You don't have to. If you feel overwhelmed with the amount of groups that you're part of, don't feel like you have to join. However, the reason that I'm designing it and creating it is for you. So for those of you that want to be part of that training, I'll let you know when that's happening, and you'll get an invitation, and you can say yes or no. It doesn't matter. All right, let me see. What an awesome tool. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Kim, Michaela. Thank you, Michaela. I love that name. And for some reason, I know I've said Michaela in the past, and I don't know why I was having this stopgap, if you will, like a mental pause moment. So thanks, Michaela. So yeah, Kim, it's going to be an awesome tool. I'm very excited about being able to bring that to you. And for the most part, I think our leaders are excited about it also, and we'll see. All right. Angie says that's great because I always feel like my posts come off. You know what, Angie? It's not that your posts come off weird. I really think you're probably your worst critic. However, there are so many new ways to do engagements in your customer groups, including live videos. There's just a lot of things you can do, and then being able to remember to advertise that group to other people so they can join if they want to. If you don't ask, it's always a no. So we're going to raise the awareness and be more intentional about how to drive customers to your customer group. And again, then when your customer group is engaging and attractive and where everybody wants to learn from, it'll be, people will refer their friends there also. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. Excuse me. All right, so let's get started. Now remember yesterday we talked about the connection. Oh my goodness, hold on one second. This is cold coffee, but that's okay. All right, good, good, good. All right, we talked about the connection that you make at your party, why that's so important, and make sure you go back and listen to that. And one of the things that that you might want to call it when you're thinking about getting yourself in the mode, if you will, are meet and greets. I mean, meet and greets are not for the faint at heart, because a lot of times, high-end restaurants, they will hire from a professional looking standpoint and a professional dressed, well, looking is dressed. They will hire the host very carefully. We're thinking, oh, she just stands there, and checks it off. Well, in fact, they interview her. They make sure that she has that charismatic, that engaging personality, and she exudes warmth and, embraces a welcoming personality. So again, this is really important that that you spend time, thinking about how your meet and greet, how that's going to take place, those questions I gave you that you're going to ask, and again, this becomes the first impression, and you only have one time to make that first impression, and your host is counting on you to make her proud, right? So think about it. If you want to do this for a minute, pretend you're a guest at your party. So you walk into the room where the display is set up. What does that display look like? We talked about we eat with our eyes. Same thing with the display. What does that display look like? What do you look like? What are you sending as a welcome to your host friends? And again, have you ever considered that the way you welcome or ignore guests, or you're not ready when the guests arrive, how it sets the tone for them to decide if they will hire you for their home? Because there's two parts to you. One is Kathy, a person, genuinely transparent, authentic person. And then there is that Kathy that transfers and translates over to what I believe in, which is the products that I'm ready to share and let them sample. So remember, it's people first, it's products second. All right. So let's get to my notes, and I have a lot of information to share today. I'm going to try and keep it 30, 40 minutes at the most. If we run out of time, we've got tomorrow, we've got Friday. And tomorrow I've got Hillary as a guest speaker on our call, and we're going to be talking about your booking commercial and your recruiting commercial. But let's go ahead and trace back a little bit, circle back from yesterday. Because somebody mentioned that I forgot to mention about host packs. Well, I mentioned host packs, but I never shared with you what the host packs look like or what I should put in there. And let me tell you my experience. And again, this is my experience I'm sharing with you. In no way am I trying to undermine anything that you've been trained already with your leaders, because they know a lot just like I do. So the beauty of you attending my training and then you having them train you is you get choices. You don't have to do it either way. You don't have to do it one way. You can choose between the other two ways. So again, that's the beauty of having two individuals that care enough about you that train you. All right. So I believe that, like everything else, whatever you decide to do is a signature you. And a case in point is the fact that you are thinking, what does that host pack represent as far as you? Yes, it can be an envelope, and I don't think there's anything wrong with a manila, a 10 by 13 manila envelope. In fact, I've done that in the past. I have taken a manila envelope, and let me pretend I have a manila envelope and show you what I've done, because I should have had one ready. But what I will do with a manila envelope, now again, these are the 10 by 13 sizes. So I will take that manila envelope and I will pretend this is a manila envelope, and I will take 4 catalogs. I give all my hosts, my in-home party hosts, get 4 catalogs. And I will wrap those catalogs with the manila envelope just like this. So pretend this is a manila envelope, and these are your 4 catalogs, and you have order forms tucked in here also. But I do that because on the manila envelope, I can write that love note and that incentive to get $200 in outside orders. So that's an inexpensive way, and it fits in a priority mail packing envelope from the post office. So it's a flat rate of $6.95. And the beauty of having supplies from the post office when you go online, having them sent to you, they ship them free, and then you can set up an account in the U.S. Postal Service website where you have your credit card, etc., so that when you want to print the postage, the priority postage from your printer, you can do that, and it's got the tracking number, etc. And you can even send an email. There's a place in there that you can send an email to your host right from their website that says your packet is on the way. But anyway, I digress a little bit. I just wanted to talk about Host Packs. And so sometimes if I run out of some fun packets that I've purchased, then I make sure that I have manila envelopes that are the larger size. Now again, you don't want the small size, you want either 9 by 12 or 10 by 13. And I will wrap them around those catalogs just like this. And then I will write a love note, and it's a handwritten love note thanking her for choosing me and saying, by the way, when you reach $200 in outside sales, and then I'll put in parentheses from your coworker friends or those friends that are not able to attend, you will receive $25 extra cash to spend. Yes, I do give 50% of my commission back, but I do so because A, I would have never gotten those outside orders if she hadn't done those, and I did nothing for those outside orders. So for me to give her half of my commission, I absolutely love that. I love it. So, and again, when I talk to her via messenger or texting or email, whichever way she tells me is the best way to communicate with her, then I will remind her that I'm so excited to add $25 and say, take a look at your wish list, or maybe I already know what she has on her wish list. You can use that cash to pay off one of those items and you won't open your purse. So again, it's just little conversations, because I wouldn't send this without reminding her that she's got it, that she's going to be excited about it, etc. This handwritten note will talk to her. It'll speak volumes to her, but you still have to remind her what you're offering her and what she's working towards. You can't just assume that that she's going to remember that. That's why it's important. All right. So if you're using something fun, you can go to the dollar store or something like this and you get these fun envelopes. One of the things that I like about these are a little more expensive. I got these at Office Depot, so you don't have to spend the money. But one of the reasons I do like these is because they have a pocket in the back. So of course, when she gets this, I put all her host information in here. When she gets these, I remind her that as she collects the orders, she can just put the orders back here. So it's just, again, a way for her to know that I knew she was going to have a place to put the orders in. Now again, if I use the envelope here, the manila envelope, to let her know that she can just use that envelope to add her orders as she gets them. And again, that says to her, from me, I know you're going to get orders. All right, so what goes into, so again, it really is your signature. And I would write on this. I might even, depending on the time of year, put some stickers on it, etc. So talk about what goes into a host kit. Let me see if there's any questions so far. Okay, so what goes into a host kit? I am not a fan of stuffing this with anything that she doesn't need at the time she gets it. So what does she need? What does she need at the time she gets it? She needs catalogs, and she needs order forms, and she needs a recruiting flyer. That's it. Right now, she doesn't need to know what the host special is. She doesn't need to know what the guest special is. She'll know that as you start to journey with her and have conversations with her, letting her know that, you've got the catalogs, I'm so excited, attach. And what you say attach is the guest special or the bonus buy. So again, it's when she needs to know it is when you attach it. I remember during my very first party, and really the only party I'd done before I even knew about direct sales, was with Pampered Chef. My host, which ended up being my recruiter, she sent me a packet. I opened it up. There was all this information. I dumped it out on my counter. I remember like it was yesterday, and I thought to myself, holy smokes, did I make a mistake? There was so much information in there that she expected me to read, and I didn't have the time. So your host has full-time jobs now. Most of them do. You want to tell her through chat, text, email what you want her to know when she needs to know it. And that allows you to stay up in her level of reminders that she's got you in her life. And hello, you've got a party coming up. So again, you want to use every opportunity you can to be in touch with her. And if you stuff everything in here, why does she need to talk to you, right? I mean, you can say, pull this out, but why? Everything can be attached via a attachment. And the other thing is, for some of you, it's costly to have printer ink, right? Color printer ink. And you don't want to send it black and white. If it's in color, let her open it up and look at it in color. Now, I do believe that with the catalogs and the order forms, you must give her some information about the business opportunity with Lemongrass Spa. So what I do is, I love this, and I'll tell you in a minute why this is stapled, but I use this, let's start a conversation, right? You guys know it's a 2 front and back flyer. It's about let's start a conversation. And the reason I have this, I'll tell you in just a second. So I give her 4 catalogs. I give her maybe 5 order forms. And listen, we have a digital order form. So that's the other thing you want to let her know. I've enclosed 4 catalogs and 5 order forms. However, I'm going to attach the digital order form in case you want to share this with our online catalog link, not the website. Not your website, the online catalog link. That catalog link online is beautiful. The pages turn so it's just amazing. When I look at our online catalog and I see how Heidi and Brian, whoever has put it in there, it's just beautiful. However, it should be the catalog link, not the website link. When you do a website link, there's just too much clutter. Get away from the clutter, clear the clutter, give her exactly what you want to give her, the digital order form and the catalog link, so she can send that order form and that catalog link around to people that are long distance or have responded with a no. Give her that access and those tools to use. And of course, when you're creating a Facebook event, you want to make sure that digital catalog is in that Facebook event. Okay, so that's my host kit. And depending on, your finances or what you have around you to shop for, what you run low on or run out on, you always want to make that catalog, that host kit, just super special, because she is advertising you as she takes this to work. People are seeing who you are by what she's representing. So okay, so that's the host kit. Now the catalog kit, very similar, and you guys can put a sample in there if you want. It's perfectly fine or not. It's totally up to you. And by the way, when I send a sample, it's always something that I know I don't have to tell them how to use. So I don't usually send body scrub. I send our lip butter, or I'll send our body butter, just because, and I'll always send a little spatula, in case she wants to share the body butter with anyone, because that is something that I don't have to tell her how to use it, or maybe a lip balm or something like that. But you guys get the impression that you don't want to have to say, this is how you use it. Just send it to and say, oh my gosh, your hands will be thanking you every time you go to use this butter. All right. Now my catalog kits, which I love bringing to every single party, has 7 catalogs, and I usually put a little more order forms in there. You don't have to. However, my feeling is the reason you want to send them a digital order form or make sure they have enough order forms in their catalog kit is typically when you give them, let's say 7 catalogs and then 7 order forms, they're going to stop after they reach 7 orders. So a lot of times, knowing that, you want to either include more order forms in there, or you send her the digital order form so she knows that you know she will surpass those orders. There's a whole section on catalog parties that I've done in the Coffee with Kathy group, so we're not going to do a training on that, but just to let you know what goes in my host kit, what goes in my catalog kit. And now let's talk about my think about it packet. Now, mine aren't packets, but you can really be in creative. You can do as many things as you want. Angie says, where do you find the catalog link in digital order form? Angie, the catalog link is at the bottom of our website where it says view catalog. Or what you can do is you can go into your website as though you're going in as a customer, www.ourlemongressspa.com/Kathy Yelitz, and then you see the word that says catalog, and then you see that URL on the top. When you click on that, there's a URL across the top, and I always use tinyURL, and I personalize that link to say my fall catalog, or I might give her the signature, Sharon's fall catalog or Sharon's winter catalog. So you can either send the link that way or go into tinyURL and personalize that link. And Bitly is also another website that you can use to take that string of letters and characters and numbers and personalize it. So I will add into the groups. I will add the digital the online. It's a PDF. I think it's a PDF. Yeah, I call it a digital order form. It's a PDF. But I'll go ahead and make sure you guys have that. I'm not sure where it came from. I don't know. I've just always used it. So I don't know where I got it. It's just always use it. But you guys should know where to get your catalog link, because that's huge. The catalog link is something you should always be using instead of your, website link and things like that. Okay. All right. So the Think About It packets, that's something that, again, this is your signature. When you take these to your parties, and of course we'll be talking about these more tomorrow, even on Friday when we talk about our recruiting commercial. But I think the important thing is, again, we're going to circle back to the conversation we had yesterday. When you pack your tote, whatever you put in your tote, whatever it looks like, is representing you, your brand, how excited you are, your attitude. So don't just throw things together. You want to be thinking, I have a party on Thursday, so I want to make sure, and then you go through, Tiffany says it's in the university. Okay, the digital link is in the university. Thank you, Tiffany, so much. Perfect. All right. So I don't have to post it. It's in the university. Okay, and you can use the search field for sure. All right. So the Think About It packet. Now the reason I call them Think About It packets, and again we'll go into more detail when I get into the recruiting part of your parties. But the reason I call them Think About It packets is because I don't want people to think they're there to sign up as consultants. I mean, that's really unrealistic, and you might eliminate someone that just wants some information to think about it. So that's why I always want to make sure I say, listen, I brought some Think About It packets with me this evening, or Think About It information. I know a lot of you here tonight now, and this is my closing, and we'll go into the closing another day, but I always show them what they're going to be able to take home with them to think about it. And I always make sure to say, now, if this is not something for you, don't be the gatekeeper. You might think about someone else that might like to take a closer look. So make sure when you come, when you attend, when you're I'm helping you with your order, that you think about the opportunity to think about someone else and take one of these home for them, if not for you. So I always kind of do a little commercial about it, and then I show it. Now, this is just that flyer from the home office from the website. It's under Business Opportunity. I had a hard time finding it, so it's under Business Opportunity, and it actually says, let's start a conversation. It's all about fun, flexibility, and financial rewards. And I actually put a Take 5 candy bar on it. Some people put a little snack size payday. Some people use cute, little gift bags, just little tiny dollar gift bags, and they tuck them in there. And that way, when they have them lined up on their checkout table, visually, when somebody sits down, they see that. They see your booking bags, they see your think about it bags. So that's a visual where everybody is going to be more inclined to feel like they should be taking one home. So remember, we eat with our eyes. Anything they see will eliminate you having to do a full-blown commercial. So I think you need to make sure, first of all, if your host says, Kathy, we're expecting 7, then you better think to yourself, well, I did a great job encouraging her to remind everybody they're welcome to bring a friend. And so we might have as many as 10. So you want to make sure you have at least that many catalogs, and I'm going to show you what's in my catalog lap board. You want to make sure you have at least this many of these. And then I would say have as many of your host pack and your catalog packet, your in-home host pack and your catalog packet. Because guys, this is what I believe. Worst case scenario, you have to put them back in your tote and take them back home. However, think about somebody saying to you, you know what, I've been thinking about this and I think I would like to blah, blah, blah. Take some information home, book a party, share the catalogs with their friends at work, and you say this, oh my gosh, I just gave the last packet out. Now, women are notorious for looking for signs. Oh my gosh, this is a sign. Well, okay, let me think about it. Maybe this isn't a good time. They are going to talk themselves out if they feel like that's a sign that they weren't supposed to book or they weren't supposed to join. So you want to make sure that you are open for business and you don't run out. You're not out of stock. You're not giving a rain check. None of that. Because really, you have access to whatever you want to bring, you have access to. So just make sure that that is what you're prepared for when you pack that tote. All right, so I think those are all the questions. Wouldn't the business opportunity sheet be good for vendor events also? Yes, Joy, absolutely, absolutely. However, at a vendor event, what you're really collecting more than anything else are bookings. From that booking, then when you start partnering with that host, that's when you find that she is open to taking a closer look at our consultant opportunity at direct sales. Because, and I know I've shared this, guys, with you in the past, statistically, 70 to 80% of those of us that are in direct sales came through first as a host, and that consultant opened up the conversation and the opportunity to take a closer look at being a consultant and trying it for 30 days. And depending on when that engagement and that conversation really takes place, takes traction, you could even turn that party into one of her launch parties, especially if she says right off the bat, oh, you know what, I've been thinking about that. I think I'll say yes. Well, if that's the first conversation or maybe the second conversation with her, flip that party, flip her, and let her be the host and the consultant. You go there still, you do the launch experience with her for her first party. Any bookings she gets are her bookings. Any individuals that weren't able to attend, you've encouraged her to have a second date on her calendar for the leftovers of those that couldn't attend the first launch party. And during the time that you're coaching with her, you have convinced her that she's got some friends that she's inviting that might want to have their own experience and get the host rewards instead of paying full price at her party. So they can still come to her party, but they'll already have their party booked. So this is all the opportunities you have because you have a host. And of course, if she decides not to sign, she gets to use her host cash to order her kit. So that's why, while you don't want to barrage her with lots of information about join, you do want to introduce the opportunity, the idea, the concept to her while she's early on in this process of partnering with you, because she's going to be watching what you do. And even if she says, no, I'm not the least bit interested, she may change your mind when you sit down with her the night of her party to really go over all the experience she's had, how her friends love the products, etc. So that's why hosts are so much more inclined to be into a consultant role than simply trying to to recruit at a vendor event. So that's just my thought. But yes, you're absolutely right, Joy. Okay. All right. So let me first start out. Let me keep an eye on the time. Oh my gosh, is that right? Is it really? Oh my gosh, we have spent far too much time on that. We're going to fly on this information, and then we'll spill back over into tomorrow, because I really want to keep these calls short so people can come and watch and rewatch and rewatch. So let me go in and show you from a visual standpoint my lap board, and we will go into the actual commercial, and I'll share with you how I use the lap board and how I advertise it at my parties, and why I have such success using this wish list. So first of all, when you create a lap board, this is just a 3-ring binder that you have cut the spine out. So if you looked at a 3-ring binder, when you open it, you've got a 3-ring spine and you've got 2 of these. So I get these at either Big Lots or sometimes a dollar store. Sometimes my Staples will have a clearance aisle, and I'll get these really, really cheap. And I like the fact that when I get them cheap at Staples, the back has a clear plastic sleeve that I can put this recruiting flyer right in the sleeve. And so when I'm advertising that everybody's going to be able to have the opportunity to take a think about it, pack at home, I can say, by the way, turn your lap board over, and this is the information I'm going to be sharing with you, during our full service checkout. And I can use this as a recruiting commercial when I have it back there. So, but the ones that you get cheap, like a Big Lots and the dollar store, they're not going to have usually that pocket, that sleeve back here. So look at how, and by the way, the reason I do this is because, have you ever been to a direct sales party or been somewhere where you try to write using a magazine and your lap? It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And you know it. So if you know it, why aren't you taking that extra step to say to your host friends, got you covered? I thought about you. I know it's going to be easier to write this way, so I'm going to go ahead and create lap boards for you. And yes, I do tell everybody at my parties I made these for them, and I tell them how I made them. The light bulbs go off, the school teachers go nuts, and you have said to them, it's important for me that you know I thought about you. And again, it's a commercial, again, that they're hiring you. So what you'll notice is I have my catalog in first. I strategically put these in this order. So I have my catalog first, and then I have the wish list, alphabetized wish list. This is in the Coffee with Kathy second. And then I have my order form. Now the reason I have this in this order is because when I am doing my hand spa experiences and they are finished with their hand spa, and we're getting them move to get their drink, their snack, whatever, I'll say, by the way, your catalog is waiting for you in the other room. I don't know if you've already put your purse down, but you've got your lap board and your catalog. You're welcome to start browsing. And of course, that's what they do. I don't have to worry about them thinking, drumming their fingers, when is she going to start? When is she going to start? They have their friend. They have somebody that's already in there. That's why I love them bringing a friend, because everything they do with their friend. And you hear the pages of the catalog start turning. So I love that. But anyway, so that's why I have that catalog first. Now, when I start my demonstration, and we'll go into a little more detail actually tomorrow, where I'm going to go live with you, but as I start the demonstration, I actually introduce this as a wish list. And the reason I use this, you guys don't have to, but here's what I found. I talk very fast during my demonstration. I mean, I am like spot on. I'm getting a lot of engagement. I'm telling them to circle. I'm telling them to change prices. And I can't do that if they're writing, because I talk faster than what they write. So even when, and I learned this years ago with Pampered Chef, I would say, let's go ahead and write down the deep cover baker. Well, they're on the word deep, and I want to move over to the next product, and I have to wait for them to finish. And if you use something like microdermabrasion, they're going to say to you, could you spell that? Oh my gosh, what a disruption in your flow where you have to sit there and spell something. So I introduced this just to say, listen, there's an order form back here. We're not even going to talk about it. You don't have to be reminded of any money that you might be spending tonight. And I say you might be spending because I'm going to share with you at the end a way that you can get the items that you are wishing for free at a discount when you schedule something like this with your friends. So this allows me to do a booking commercial right off. So again, I do train them how to use that. And again, I'll go into that. And I have a training actually that I did on this wish list, using this wish list. I'll find it and I'll bring it into this group, into the group, and I will make sure you guys can listen to the call, but we'll go through this live because I really want to do a live training for you on how I introduce everything to you guys or at my parties. I think that's going to be really important for you guys. All right. So let me go ahead and go through some of my notes because I think it's important that you have an understanding of this party. Let me see that. What is that? I'm not sure what you, okay. Amanda said she's got the catalog. Julia, it's a lap board. Is that what you're asking? It's a lap board, 3-ring binder. Yeah, lap board with the wish list. And I had said I put it in a certain order. I'm not sure what you're asking, sweetie. Oh, the flyer? What flyer? This? The alphabetized wish list? Yeah, this is found in the Coffee with Kathy group. And again, I'll be going into more detail about this when I go live. And I'll go live tomorrow for you guys because we're running out of time. And then I'll also make sure that I include the link of the training I did on how to use this. I'm very effective. I mean, some consultants say to me, I can never get anybody to use it. And my comment back to them is, are you telling them to use it? Because when I do a booking commercial, and let's say, for example, I'm using the facial set as a booking commercial, I'll say, now find it on. It starts with a face care system, find it with S, and I'll say, and what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and put an H there. So an H means what? Half price because you're a host. So I use this as a way for them to be able to identify the things that they're wishing for, that they may be able to get at a discount, free, etc. It is there. No, it is there, Jan. It is there. The wish list is there, and it should be perfectly able to be printed. But if not, I'll recheck that. But it should be there in the Coffee with Kathy group. All right. So I just want to go over some notes with you guys before we wrap up. And again, we will make sure that before you leave this 4-part series, you have a lot of ways, training to do the things you need to do. Okay. All right. So just a couple notes that I made, and I want to go through these, and it's going to go through quickly, but I really want to make sure each of you understands the importance of these parties. It's just not you sharing about the products. I mean, it's just not. And you are going to know the difference in what you're doing after this training and what you've done before. So first of all, have you guys ever watched an infomercial? If not, I suggest you go and watch some of the infomercials, because by the time these infomercials are over, you're on the verge of ordering the product. I mean, even though when we start, we have no interest in them at all, they include product knowledge and they include testimonials. I mean, you guys want to tell stories. That's the other thing I want to make sure. Okay, let me see, Debbie. I even asked them to write their questions on the back of the wish list so I can answer after, or I don't know the answer. I can get, Deborah, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to comment on Deborah's thing. So, Deborah, when somebody has a question, I'll say to them, you know what, that's a great question. Why don't we do this? Why don't we hold off? Or if I can answer it for everybody, I answer it for everybody. Because if somebody has a great question, you want to be able to say, oh my gosh, Deborah, great question. Would you guys like to hear the answer? And then I'll answer it. If somebody has a question that I don't want to answer because maybe it's more of a question like, I've struggled with your, healing elements and it didn't work. I'll say, you know what? That is a great observation. So why don't we do this? Why don't, when you come to the full service checkout, I'll help you with that personal, your personal question. How does that sound? So I will answer the question as they ask. I love it because, Deborah, if they're asking the question, everybody is probably wanting to know the answer. If it's a situation where it's an objection or it's something that you don't want to open up a can of worms, I always acknowledge them and say, oh my gosh, really? I've not heard that. So let me go ahead and get some more information from you. Would you mind if during the time that I help you with your order, we can talk about it? So I stop and address them and acknowledge that they had a concern, but I don't sit there and say, well, tell me a little bit more about that concern. No, because no one else in the room wants to listen to a problem. They don't. They want to listen to an exciting opportunity that you're going to have answering a question, but not a problem. So that's what I would do. All right. So make sure you guys are bringing, and I want you to work on this. You want to make sure that you have testimonials. And oftentimes you're thinking to yourself that you don't have testimonials, but you do, because in the community group, there are so many testimonials. Of things that have happened, and you don't even have to say it's mine. You can say, oh my gosh, I have a friend, and this next product I'm about to share with you, she has found that it absolutely just helps diffuse or helps eliminate her dry skin. So again, you want to say, I have a friend, this next product, and then you talk about her. You might tell a story about her. Amanda says she do a raffle game and you get a ticket for each question. Amanda, I have to be very honest. I'm so glad these questions are coming up. I'm going to stop. I'm going to answer this question too. Amanda, I don't play games. Now, I'm not telling you not to play games, but this is why I don't play games. And again, raffle ticket is fine. However, the reason I don't play games is because my purpose there is to educate, it's to inspire, it's to inform, it's to, what was the fourth thing that I had said to you guys? I don't want any distractions from the opportunity to inspire, instruct, inform, and engage. Now, again, the ticket would be an engagement. So if you're good at the ticket and you find out, but what happens is they're going to ask questions that are sometimes not relative or relevant at all just to get a ticket. I want to be able to offer enough information up front and ask enough questions myself. How many of you did you ever find or have you discovered? And then I said, well, the next product I'm going to share with you, I think it's going to help you with those concerns that we're having at this time of year. So I always start my conversation out with, do you find, and then I back it up with a product and tell a story about the product. So again, this is just me. I am not a game person. I just, I'm the type of person that I don't want to spend time away from my family without having some value add. Now again, the tickets can be a value add, so I'm not telling you not to do it. It's just not my style. That's what I'm just going to tell you. All right. But I'm not in for games whatsoever. We have enough filler in our time that we're with them, which should only be about 30 to 40 minutes, that if you move away and do some games, you're taken away from instructing, inspiring, informing, engaging. And you only have a short amount of time to let them know that they should hire you. And I'm not sure somebody's going to hire you they'll hire you for the game. I'm sure they will because it's fun. But anyway, that's just, it's my feeling. It's not right or wrong. It's just my feeling. I'm glad you asked that question. All right. So, okay, Jan, we're going to be talking about bundles. That's definitely something we're going to be talking about. So, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and give you some information here about the bundles. Oh my gosh, we're too close to 12 to the time. All right, so testimonials. I just want to make sure you guys are bringing in testimonials, and every time you touch a product, you want to think, what could I tell about a story with that testimonial? So that's one thing I want you guys to be working on. People buy emotionally, and when people get excited, when they have fun, when they're impressed, they do get emotionally involved. So you always want to sell the benefits, not the details. I don't believe that, when you talk about a feature of our product, it's got the oils, stuff like that. What's the benefit? Why do you care about the oils in there? A lot of times what you do is you want to say, oh my gosh, it's got an oil, these oils, and I see you posting that. So what? And that's what you need to ask yourself. So what? What does that oil do? Why do I care about the oils? So again, you don't want to go into detail about how or where the products are made. Give a real brief overview about Heidi. And, you can brag about her, show her picture, but you don't want to say, got two warehouses, blah, blah, blah. That women just don't think that way. They don't care about that. So be brief, tell a heart tug story about Heidi. And then, you want to make sure that, And I'll do that when I go into my live presentation, because I do open the catalog to the first page, because there's a couple things on that first page that I brag about. So we'll do that. And again, so always your benefit, your customers, those customers, when they hire you, it's because you have said to them, this is going to make your life easier, it's going to save you time, and it's going to save you money. So you want to always show the versatility of our products. All right. Script. Listen, I attended a party of one of my consultants with Pampered Chef, and she had been in the company, I'm going to say, for maybe 2 years. She was one of my top recruiters, top sellers, and I went to her party because I wanted to see what she did. Interestingly enough, she had a script. It was fabulous. She had her script in a clear plastic sleeve. It was front and back, and this is what she would do. She'd say, okay, ladies, we're about ready to get started. Okay, well, let's first tell a little bit about our host. So Sandy, come on up. Now, did you notice what she did? She looked at her script to know what she was going to do. And again, then the flow went, and she introduced everybody around the room and stuff like that. And she said, okay, well, let's talk about the first product. And she went back to her script. And she talked about, she knew, she just had line items. She didn't have verbiage or anything like that. But if you're not creating a script is a plan. And you have to have a plan to be an effective presenter. It's, and it doesn't limit you. It gives you the freedom to engage more spontaneous. Because if something happens where you get that question, you get that objection, you can go back and say, okay, let's get back to business. And you can go back to that script. If you're not creating a script, guys, I don't know how you're keeping yourself on track and covering everything that you intentionally decided to share at that party during that time of the season, right? All right, let's see. We're going to do the introduction another time. The other thing I want to make sure you guys are working on are adjectives. You want to always say, this is my favorite, I love this, I really like this. No, it's really not about you. It seems that you guys want to be the one that talks about yourself. You want to have amnesia. Like I said yesterday, get amnesia. Our catalog does a great job with so many adjectives. I love the fact I'm just a lover of our skincare line, our facial line. And so when you look at the adjectives that Heidi has put there, it says here, softer, smoother, your skin's going to be more radiant than ever. It's about them. It's not like, oh my gosh, I love this favorite product, it's my favorite. No. When you invest into our skincare facial kit, you're going to find that your skin is going to be, I find that most of my customers make this their first investment as their introduction to Lemongrass Spa products. So again, do you notice what I did? I find you're going to love, again, this is the kind of conversation you guys are going to want to be making. And this takes a script. It takes a plan. It takes a practice. We're going to do show closing because I think the show closing has to leave a call to action. I believe your opening and your closing are two of the most powerful parts of your presentation because you're live. All eyes are on you. And I don't say that to make you feel nervous. I say that to make sure that you are scripting what you want them to know about you. And that actually introduction doesn't have to go in the beginning. You do have to go and do a beginning where you're introducing your host, you're letting everybody else talk about themselves, and then you let them know what they're going to be learning tonight. And again, remember, it's a teachable moment. They want to be educated, informed, inspired, engaged, and you need to let them know that's what you're going to be having, that's what they're going to be experiencing with you. And then anytime you can bring in, let me stop here and tell you a little bit about myself because I just shared one of the things that got me started with Lemongrass Spa. And that might be when you talk about yourself, your why. And then at the end, when you close, it is so intentional that close, and we will go over that also. But the important thing is you need to be thinking after this call today, these are some of the things that you want to put in motion, right? So think about your adjectives, think about how you now talk about the products. How do they sound? What products are you talking about now? Do they sound like they come alive from the pages of the catalog by the fact that you have said them? You've not relied on them reading from the catalog. All right. So again, When you go into every party, you want to have a goal, how much in sales, how many bookings, and how many team members, because that's what you wrap around the products that you bring. Isn't that interesting? You think you bring the products because they came in your new consultant kit, when in fact, the products that you bring are the ones that you know you intentionally wrap commercials around. You talk about products with commercials that allow people to make decisions based on what you say about that product. Are they going to be someone that buys it outright? Are they going to be someone on a budget and they want to be doing some savings in their hosting? Or they want to be someone that wants to host but also wants to try our business opportunity, try direct sales, be a consultant for 30 days. These are things that you always want to be focusing on and doing mini commercials as you touch the products. So again, before you leave for the party, you've got to say to yourself, tonight I'm going to get no less than 2 bookings. I'm going to get I'm going to have half of the room take information home, a think about it packet, and I'm going to make sure that my sales are at a company average. Now, I will say this. If you have a small show, you might not get a $400 party average. However, if you don't have strong sales, 2 things are happening. First of all, you got strong bookings, which is perfect. Some people nowadays, they will not buy because they'll book. When that's okay, that is perfectly okay because your host gets booking credit. However, if you find no sales or low sales and no bookings, there's something wrong. There is something wrong with how you're engaging the audience and how you're adding value to the product. How are you telling stories that those individuals in that room can relate to? So again, don't waste time on products that don't pursue those goals, right? If you're showing the $10 healing element, I can open my purse and spend $10. You are not going to get high sales. Nobody's going to have to book for it. And, again, you don't have to even think about somebody joining for that $10 healing element. So we're going to talk about, Jan, the bundles and the collections, because product groupings should always get first billing because they sell each other. They really do. They sell each other. If you show one product, you'll sell one product. And that's why it's important to always show your products in groupings. And I love the fact that you don't even have to go off the reservation and create your own groups, bundles, collections. Heidi has done it for us. We have got the grouping here, your customized face care. We've got the grouping with our minerals collection. We've got the grouping with our products with a purchase. That's the skincare grouping. And then you've also got a grouping of essential oils. So Heidi has already done those groups for you, and they represent so many collections, so many areas of our product line that are basics that everybody's, is going to be using. So again, you want to make sure that you are focusing on the bundles. Let me see. So everything you do and say at your show, at your party, should be contributing to your goal. All right, so I'm going to wrap up there because there's just a lot more that I had to share with you guys, but I love the fact that you're asking questions. This has to be you. It has to be about you. So let me take a few minutes to answer questions, and I've still got 2 more days to wrap up, and then Saturday morning, we can do just final questions and just wrap everything up on Saturday Morning Coffee with Kathy. But what I want to do is make sure I don't shortcut anything because I'm running out of time. Everything that I am creating and setting up for you as a training is important, or I wouldn't set it up for you guys. All right. So Jan said bundles. We'll talk about bundles another time. You don't bring out catalogs typically prior to your introduction on the bundles? Oh, Jan. Well, Jan, then you're doing bundles outside of the catalog. And I don't recommend for new consultants that they do bundles outside the catalog. Bundles that our leaders and our higher level consultants that are more experienced, the bundles they create and they package and they buy the products and they create the graphics, that is amazing. And I love the fact that we can follow them at some point in time. However, I believe who I'm talking to here on this training are those that are starting or restarting or maybe even haven't decided what to do. So I'm I'm going to teach you the basics and you can build on that. If you have a leader that does bundles and she creates them and she has, I mean, we have bundle training in the Coffee with Kathy group. That for me, when I offer that, is for somebody that is already has a strong foundation as a start. So when you go off the reservation and you move away from the catalog, one thing you have to be very concerned about, not very concerned, is at every party, there's a recruit. Is there a recruiter that shows up? Which means, are you making yourself a copy worth duplicating? Can that brand new person sitting in the audience do what you do? And so if you're not first having a strong foundation on how to talk about bundles, collections from the catalog, then you can't graduate to the collections that you or your leader has created. That's my feeling. So I like to start with the catalog and build on that. No, Ashley is the bundle queen. In fact, Ashley has training in the Coffee with Kathy group on bundles. I've featured her as a guest speaker. She's fabulous. And anyone that wants to go to a second level of bundles absolutely should follow her. As a new consultant listening to this call, for those of you that are just maybe restarting, re-looking at your party, even in your Facebook party, a lot of what I'm teaching you, you can migrate over to a Facebook party. You want to remember that a lot of times your finances should not eliminate you being able to have the same type of conversation that is very successful, which are bundles and collections. Because like I said, when you have those products grouped together, they all work together. I would never sell a moisturizer without selling the collection. Why would I? That moisturizer is not going to work if they don't first have the right cleanser, they don't use the hydrating mist, and they don't have the extra advanced system where they're using a polish and the anti-aging. I'm here to sell a solution, not sell a product. And that moisturizer is a product. It's not a solution. So again, my feeling is we use the catalog if you're not having your own bundle collection that your leader's helping you with. All right, Amanda says, what's an example of the opening or closing script? Amanda, we will do that. I promise you, we will do that because I want to go live with you guys. And so going live will say, here's my opening, and I'm going to give you an example. I also want you to have a fun way of engaging the audience before you even start, because as you're asking a certain question of them, let's talk about you. You know, after you thank the host, let's give you a chance to have the mic, if you will. You might say, how do you wash your face? Let's go around the room. What do you do? And you're going to see some giggles, and somebody will say, well, I use this. And they're like, you do? How do you what do you use for that? I mean, you'll get a lot of conversation going when you ask something as basic as, let's talk about how you wash your face, you know? Do you use the ABCs? And they're like, ABCs? And I'm like, go around the room and tell me. So again, this is where you get some fun and engagement going before you even have to go live. So, so I'll share with you that also. Okay, let's see. Amy says, everyone wants to have a Facebook party instead of a home party, and they are not going anywhere. I'm going to live tonight in the group when I'm doing now. Hope this would help. And Amy, again, I don't mean any disrespect intended at all. That's not the case. I think a lot of times when we are saying that, no one or everyone, we are forgetting that you might have heard it from one or two people, but however, you have to continue to offer the opportunity where people want to get friends together. Listen, they're getting together with their friends. It's whether you are offering the opportunity to bring those friends together with something that you are offering as an education, as a fun. I mean, if somebody said to me, Kathy, I'm grabbing a few friends and we're going to do 30-minute facials with somebody from Lemongrass Spa. Do you want to join? Yes, I would love a 30-minute facial, right? She's going to teach us how to do 30-minute facials. I would absolutely love it. Or she's going to teach us how to winterize our hands and everybody goes home with some fun gloves. Of course, I can't do that on live, Facebook Live, virtual. So it's how you're advertising. And one of the things that I encourage you guys to do in December is I created a group for commercials for January parties. And it's planning 2018, whatever that group. And there are literally at least 20 commercials for in-home parties that I encourage you guys to direct message your friends and say, hey, so-and-so, and you put their name in, and then you give that commercial. I know, Amy, there is no, party plans are so popular because you do them with your friends. So it really has the opportunity for you to advertise what you're going to be teaching, what everybody's going to experience, right? So I think that could be, in fact, I know that's 90, if not 100% of why you're not getting in-home parties is it's the commercial, what you're offering, how you're offering it, what you're getting them excited about that you and only you can do. Listen, they're not going to get facials from someone else. With Pampered Chef, I offered them a recipe class, and they climbed on my calendar, standing room only, because I was going to teach them this recipe. With our skincare, we are teaching them how to winterize their skin, how to winterize their hands, how to do a foot spa experience where they can have a special time with their friends. So I really do believe we need to understand that it's what we offer, not what we ask. Amanda says, I don't know how you do this in a 30-minute, I'm usually an hour. No, Amanda, when I say 30 minutes, the time, I'm glad you asked this because it's probably a question that I will forget to say tomorrow, is, Amanda, my parties are from 7 to 8:30. So what happens, let me just walk you through and then we'll end. We should have ended a while back. So when I get there at 6:30, and this is my typical skincare class, and that's what I'm going to teach you on. I'm not going to teach you on facials because we've already got a facial video. I'm not going to teach you on foot spas because I think you guys all know how to do foot spas, and you know how I feel about foot spas. They are safe for special events on weekends or Friday night girls' night out. So what I'm going to teach you is a weeknight experience. So I love the skincare because it allows me to teach from the catalog and to offer a hand spa experience and some fun gloves that everybody gets to take home. All right. So it's from 7 to 8:30, and I advertise the start and stop time. I think it's so important that my host knows that we're stopping at 8:30, because if somebody says, I have to get up tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock, I don't think I can come. Your host is like, oh my gosh, Kathy finishes at 8:30. So my word is my bond. So what happens is, I walk in the door at 6:30. We never start on time, but you do have some stragglers that come in, by the time we start. You can do an on-time drawing. That is fun. Do an on-time drawing where everybody's there by 5 of 7 and you give them a gift. Everybody. And it shouldn't be a drawing. It's an on-time gift, take-home gift, on-time take-home gift. Everybody gets a little sample of, whatever you want to sample. And you have to post this. You have to have your host let everybody know. So let's say a couple people starting at 7 o'clock. I start them immediately. I go to the door, introduce myself with the host, and I say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Would you like to be one of the first to have the hand spa experience? Of course they do. I take them into the kitchen. I've got my station set up, and I say to my host beforehand, I'd like you to watch me, and I've already done hand spa with my host. And I say, the reason I'd like you to experience it is because if for some reason I'm pulled away and I need to get, everybody seated and we've got some more stragglers coming in, I'd like you to be able to do the hand spa for one of your friends. Would you mind? And she's, of course not. I very rarely get somebody, they might hesitate, but I say, oh my gosh, wait till you see me do it the first time. You'll know it's mindless, type of thing. So I do the hand spa, and then at 7:15, no matter what, and I've already talked to my host about this because I want to stop at 7:30 or 8:30. I say, okay, you know what? For those of you that are still waiting for hand spa experience, I'm not going to leave you out. We'll do it at the end, after we finish the sharing and the sharing time, the instructional time. And I call it instructional time. And I'll say, so let's go ahead and get started, and I'll do you guys hand spas later. If you don't mind, that's what we're going to do. Because I really want to make sure that those of you that have to get out the door by 8:30, you can get out the door by 8:30. So again, I committed 7 to 8:30. I told them I want those that need to get out the door by 8:30. So everybody's sitting down, and you will see my skincare class. I'm going to do it for you guys live. And so what you'll see is, even with the engagement going through the catalog, you'll see about usually 30 to 40 minutes and I'm done. I am done. And then they have a chance to do whatever they want. Spend time with the host, get some more drinks, etc. I feel like you've got to practice it enough that you get it down to a time. You've got to watch your clock when you practice it at home, and you've just got to have it down to a time, because your word is your bond, and you cannot go over. Now, going over because you've got a lot of engagement, a lot of questions, that's a good time, good thing. In fact, I'll look at my watch sometime and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really wanted to get you guys out of here, and you guys are so fun, and you're asking so many great questions, and I want them to remember that it's them that is creating the length of time that we're going over, not me. And that's why I won't start any later than 7:15. I won't, because those that started came on time, they shouldn't have to be penalized because we're waiting on other people. Plus, if you start at 7:15, you can wrap up by 8. You know that. So then you've got from 8 to 8:30 just to snooze and let people play and take orders. That's 30 minutes, guys. So anyway, all right, let's see if there's any other questions. I am so sorry. I did not mean to go this long today, but you know what? This is what I feel. This is your time. This is your call. This is your training. I got through some of the things that I wanted to get through that was important to me. And just, we'll continue on. Guys, this is such an important topic, because you want to make sure that everything you do when you're in somebody's home, when you've been chosen by that host, first of all, you want to be chosen, and second of all, you want to be so intentional, so spot on. And once you get it down to this, experience, whether it's a facial, it's a hand spa experience, it's a makeup class, once you get it down, you really are a master. I mean, it really just flows. It really does. All right, let's see if there's any other questions before I scoot. Yeah, Amy, you do need to get outside. And I have to tell you, I tell you not to ask for parties, but if I need to get in-home parties on my calendar, I will ask. I'll say, listen, we've got some amazing experiences, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. We've got some amazing things going on in Lemongrass Spa World in January, and I really want to get, the samples out to everybody that I can, and that means I need some live bodies. Would you? And I would just ask them, ask your friends, would you schedule a few friends and let me bring the products to them and let them play? So again, you're not saying, would you do a party for me? That's the problem. We are dating ourselves back to Tupperware when we use the word, would you do a party? Would you get a few of your friends and let them play? Let them sample. Can I do a 30-minute facial for you and your friends so I can get some of them to experience the products live? That's the conversation you guys want to have, for sure. All right. Any other questions? I don't think so. Guys, listen. Thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is being recorded. I'm going to set it over as a closed caption. We will be live tomorrow at 12 noon, and we will talk about the booking and the recruiting. And then, you know what I'm going to do on Friday? I'm going to go start to finish live. So tomorrow is booking, it's recruiting commercial, and then Friday I'll clear my calendar, my time Friday, and you'll watch me go live. So again, we've got Hillary tomorrow, and we'll be filling in the pieces tomorrow. And if you have questions you want me to bring on tomorrow's call or even on Friday's call, message me. If you're thinking I really want to know more about that, you can post them live here, but if you want, post them in a message to me, and I'll be prepared to answer your question on the call that we do. So again, tomorrow, Friday, and then I'm sure we're going to wrap up on Saturday, because this seems to be a topic that has a lot of moving parts, and I want to make sure that we are doing what we need to do to make sure you have all your questions answered, all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and we're set to go. All right, guys, love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being on this call today, and I'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon. In the meantime, if you need me, tag me. Alrighty, bye guys.